你要不要介绍一下呀？
我用汉语介绍。
你就介绍吧，
随便吧，什么语言都可以。
你就用那个中文介绍一下他的那个简历嘛之类的。
拉杰什博士是印度前文化部的资深研究员，也是这一个国际期刊印度国际佛教研究的副主编。然后他在这个佛教美术，尤其是寺建筑考古方面呢，是有相当的一些造诣。今天我们邀请拉杰什博士为我们做一个关于印度早期石窟寺的类型学的一个介绍和一个概念的一些普及吧。然后拉杰什可以从
somebody will be translating. Somebody will be translating.
听不清楚。
Everybody understands English or translation in English?
Yeah, Joshua will translate for you.
So I did not expect Professor Lili to be here, okay, because she already is familiar with my today presentation. It's a classification of Indian cave temple. She already familiar, so I wanted to present something new to the Chengdu audience, and maybe she will find it boring.
李老师对这个印度石窟寺非常熟悉，但今天呢，我想带来一些更多的一些材料给成都的听友们。
So, this is a topic on which I have worked nearly 12 years. Classification is a topic on which I have worked for 12 years.
就我在这个类型学、石窟类型学的这个研究方面，大概已经有研究了20年了。
And my first presentation on classification was done in China during my last visit, and this is my second presentation. Even in India and nowhere else in the world, I have done any such presentation so far.
这是我在中国第3次做这方面的一些报告，但是在印度呢，我还是没有做过任何相关的一些这种汇报。
And there is a lot of new ideas and new thoughts which I am presenting here, and this is the 4th version of my idea. The previous 3 versions had been published in reputed archaeological journals with a strict peer review process.
我们的我的这个研究
published peer review journals, reputed journals.
他这个观点发表的一个考古杂志。
这篇杂志的名字我没听清楚。
Yeah, and constantly in each version I do little bit improvement and modifications. So this is what I'm presenting here is my latest version of my classification system.
今天我要汇报的是我最新的对于这种印度石窟分类的一种观点的版本吧，这是我最新的一种认识。
And I hope that some of the principles will be applicable to the Chinese monuments also. Although Chinese monuments are very different, so Chinese monuments maybe it already has a classification system which I'm not aware because I cannot read Chinese and I don't have much knowledge on Chinese grottos. But maybe because many things came from India, so maybe some of my classification system may be helpful for Chinese scholars to look at Chinese grottos?
就是我本人实际上对中国石窟的这个研究方面没有什么太多的知识背景哈，但是呢，我就希望通过这种印度石窟的这种知识，能够推进这双方的一种互动吧。
Before I begin, this is the map which I made last month, in the last 2 months. And it is in Chinese.
Yeah, very nice. I know.
And I want the help of professors and also students to improve it. Because all the Chinese word is by AI. So there must be many mistakes.
No, I already checked. It's good.
So if right now it is not published, it is sent to journal for publication, but not yet published. So if you find any mistake, please let me know, and it can be corrected. So this is a map of what is called CPM, Centrally Protected Monuments. Means New Delhi is the administrative in charge of these cave sites in India.
这是印度当局对这种国宝级文物做了一个图表吧，就标的这个他们这个国家级保护文物的一个点的一个整体情况。
And so these are the just for administrative purpose. Why I created it? Suppose tomorrow you want to take a field tour to Ajanta, serious field study of Indian caves. If any Chinese scholar want to do, then they want to get permission for photography, permission for tripod, or permission of taking measurement of the caves, any kind of permission. If you want government of India, then you will know that for this cave you will have to write to New Delhi, Archaeological Survey of India. So my map is going to be helpful for field researcher. But next map has other sites. Oh, sorry, you translate first.
他刚才说就是就是他为什么要给大家看这个地图？因为这是由那个国家保护的这个遗址，在那个它的总部在德里，就新德里。如果中国学生想去，你要知道哪些石窟是在德里被保护的，哪些石窟是在省里被保护的。然后因为涉及到你要照相啊，丈量尺寸啊，什么这些问题，你必须得到许可。所以你要知道这些是归德里管，这些是归邦管。
Now, this is a second map. This map had SPM, that is State Protected Monuments. In India we call state, in China you call province. So these are the cave sites, Buddhist cave sites, which are under the administration of state authorities, province authorities. So if you want to do field research in these sites, then, and if you want any permission, then you have to write to the province archaeology department.
Yes. 对，就是说你要想做田野的话，就是这些是属于他们省，但邦就相当于咱们省管的，得到他们的许可才行。
Okay, and all the cave sites in a single map was not possible. It becomes very crowded. So I had to make 2 maps. I hope that this map will help the Chinese scholars in future.
这个图因为有很多密集的点，所以说我不能把所有的点都呈现在这个图上。
So that was about the distribution of caves in India. Previous slide was. Now the new slide is I also spent nearly 10 to 15 years in periodization of all Indian caves.
就这张 PPT 展示的是一个我对整个印度的石窟的一个分析的一个情况。
You know, for you it is everything is already done. Dynasty. In India, it is not like that.
对中国的姓氏一般就是按照王朝、不同王朝这么去排列，但是印度并不是这样。
In India, things is very much confusing. Very much confusing. Different dynasties in different areas, and you guys, Chinese, from the ancient times, you had a habit of history writing, and so all the dates are there. In India, people did not have the habit of history writing in the ancient times.
在古代的话，这个印度上它在不同的时期有不同的这种王朝，然后中国呢一直以来有这种写姓氏的这种传统吧，但是印度一直没有这种正规的这种正统的写历史的这种传统流传。
So if you want to study ancient Buddhist art, you will have to find the date, because which art is before, which art is later, this date is required. How will you know the date when the date is not available? Because historical records, the Indian kings, etc., dates are found, but not like in China. It's very difficult. It is a nightmare. In India, it is a nightmare to study ancient history.
就是说，你要研究以前的这个早期印度的这种佛教的故事，它因为就是没有这种之前这种姓氏的习惯，所以说你研究这个还是很困难的。nightmare 是一种噩梦吧。
So in my research, during my research, I had certain thoughts that Buddhist cave architecture, Buddhist cave did not progress in a linear fashion. There was break between the cave activity, then down, then activity, then down. It progressed like that. Sometimes there is support, sometimes there is no support. Support means financial support.
就是说，印度石窟的这个发展，它并不是呈现一种线性的发展，它中间有很多的中断，它经历过不断的高潮，然后停止高潮，然后有时候它就是出现这种资金短缺，比如说就缺少施主的这种情况的出现了。
And very broadly, very roughly speaking, I found that there were period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, like that, period 7. So from 250 BC, that is from the time of Ashoka, up to the 1300 AD, Hindu, Buddhist and Jain, all the cave architecture can be periodized like this, very roughly speaking. These are not absolute date. In below, it is not visible to you. Below I have written all the dates are in circa. Whatever date that is visible here, they are approximate dates.
就是我在这里做的分析的，实际上并不是特别精确，还是很粗糙的这个内容。
And so when period means development, now this is hiatus, means archaeologically speaking, we are not able to find a lot of development during this period in Indian cave architecture.
就是说，印度的考古学家们对这一期，就对部分时期的这个石窟是难以做它的这种断代上面的分期的。
So sometimes, of course, periods are very much important because cave architecture is developing. But I think hiatus is also equally important because cave architecture is not developing, means there was some problem. So my periodization can be helpful to future researchers. They can simply find hiatus 1 or hiatus 2 and look at the caves in India and find out why no development. What was the problem? What was the factor? And when you go to find out those reasons, then some very new, interesting historical development may come to light, because that time Buddhism was not in favor. Like in China, you already have, in China you are very much clear that okay, there were 4 dynasties when uh, there was anti-Buddhist persecution and Buddhism was attacked, those 4 dynasties. In India it is not clear.
就是说，这个中断，即使是石窟的这种中断期，但它还是有相当的价值。然后通过这个研究这个中断期的一些，就是他是否想去掌握中断期背后到底发生了什么历史的原因，就像中国的这种项目的一种灭佛的这种事件一样，它背后肯定是有一些原因在的。然后这个是比较有意思的。
My intention behind this periodization and especially this hiatus is that future researchers should explore what was the reason, why it was not developing. I'm not saying that Buddhism was under attack, but I'm saying that why it was not being developed. We have to find somebody should find the reason.
我试图去寻找这种中断背后的原因。
At the least, I can say that sufficient amount of study has not been conducted about the political and historical and economic background and context of the cave temples.
就是有关于这个石窟寺的历史，还有政治，还有经济的一些因素。
Now I come to another part, that is classification system. So actually, I was telling Professor Liling yesterday that I have a future volume planned, but that future volume requires a lot of field work, and for the field work I'm not fortunate to get all the permissions. I have a program. Every single cave in India I want to do photography.
就是说这是一个关于印度石窟寺的一个分类图。然后呢，我有一个计划，就是说去记录印度的每一个石窟的这种情况。但是说有些许可并没有得到。
Let me tell you one thing. In here you have so many academies. In every academy there are so many scholars. There are photographers, there are designers, researchers, journals, publication, digital media, so many things happening. In China, more than 5,000 people are working for Buddhist caves alone, not about other heritage. In India, unfortunately, that is not the case.
就是说中国的话，它有大量的媒体，或者说是什么研究者呀，或者设计师呀，或者是摄影师，他们会做相当的一些记录吧。但是说印度的话，这种情况就比较少。
So, but suppose if all the photographic documentation, all the photographic documentation of all the caves, it is the first necessity for any kind of research, and it should be put online in digital database. I have done some photography. Professor has done some photography. Other people have some done photography, but all the caves in India, photography, Archaeological Survey of India has. They have some of them, but it is not online. So unless it is online, proper study cannot be done. But whatever that I have, whatever my fieldwork, whatever my documentation, based on that, I came up with certain scientific principles where I found that there are different kinds of cave architecture.
就是说他们的这个材料掌握都是零碎的，就是有些确实可能有一些照片非常不了，有些是有另一些，然后他们零碎的就并没有按照这种科学的原则去形成一个印度石窟寺的这个体系。
So just like there was like you have the evolution in species, in biology you have evolution theory. You will be surprised that similar, I'm not saying the same, similar evolutionary pattern can be seen in Indian Buddhist cave architecture.
就是说这就很像那种生物进化论，但说我是说相似，并不是说一样，然后就和这种生物进化论的这种发展就是很相似的一种印度石窟寺的一种发展。
And you will be surprised to know that this evolution of Indian Buddhist cave architecture happened very logically, extremely logically, very logically. And that logic, that systematic logic, so far has not been explained in the existing scholarship.
就是说，现在的学者还没有去分析它的这个，就是说还没有去讲述关于这种印度石窟寺的这种系统性的以及这种很有逻辑性的这种发展。
And so what is this classification system? This classification system, just please focus your attention to the red boxes. The first red box on top left is called Chetiya Ghara.
就是第一个这个方块的这个主题是关于肢体窟的这个。
No, even before that,
查下岗。
even before that, I want to show you something. This classification system, because this is the main topic. First is the monofunctional architecture.
这个就第一个就是我们关于讨论的是关于单一功能石窟的问题。
Only one function. Those buildings were made for one function only.
就说这个石窟它仅仅是这一个石窟，它只是为了一个功能而修建。
Then we have duo-functional architecture, two functions.
然后第二个板块呢是关于双功能的石窟。
Yeah. So all of these monofunctional has three. This is the primary category, then main category, then three subcategories.
就是它是有若干种最基本的形式，就是说这三个是最基本的这种石窟的组成单元。
Okay. And all those three categories were monofunctional. All these different type of architecture had one single function only.
就是这三种类型都只有一种功能。
And these monofunctional architecture, whenever you go to India, if you see a self-sufficient monofunctional architecture, they tend to be earliest in time. Monofunctional architecture in Indian architecture, Indian Buddhist architecture is among the earliest architecture, monofunctional.
就是说很多这种石窟它实际上都没有去做这种就是没有做这种记录和列表的 on list。
So what is the benefit of this typology? The benefit is if you don't find date, if you don't find inscription, don't find date, but if you find that that building has monofunction, then you should not feel sad that there is no date. You can immediately date it to 3rd century BC or early 2nd century BC.
就如果说你在这个石窟里面发现了题记上有这种年代的话，就可以确定它的这个时间段。
These are like characteristics I'm describing. Just like you do excavation and you find a human skeleton with a very big skull, you can say it is 2 lakh years old.
就是说，如果说你在更深的地方发现它的话，它的这个年代可能会更早，这种地层学的这种表述。
So, but after that came the duo-functional. So from 2nd century BC to 2nd century AD, 400 years, you have duo-functional architecture when they try to combine two functions in the same building under the same roof.
就是说，从公元前200年到公元200年的话，他们发展出这种双功能的石窟的这种形式，就是第二排的这种。
So this is also under the duo-functional architecture we have 1 variety, 2 variety, 3 variety, and duo-functional 4 varieties. Four varieties are there under the duo-functional architecture. Four varieties. 4 subtypes.
对，它这种4种类型的这种石窟。
Then we come to trifunctional. TRI, trifunctional, you can see, where they made three function in the same building, trifunctional architecture.
就是说它有这种就是最复杂的这种三功能的这种石窟的类型。
And then after trifunctional, there is another variety. It is a self-sufficient varieties, which is also monofunctional varieties. That monofunctional variety is called Antar Mandapa, that is inner shrine or sanctum sanctorum. Well, it is a Sanskrit word called Antar Mandap. The English is sanctum sanctorum or inner shrine.
就是说，这是后来就是有一种单一功能的，还就是这种圣殿，就是说是应该翻译成神殿或者圣殿的这么一种空间吧，就是里面有这种神像的这种。
不是，他应该是就是石窟里头开那个圣像龛。
对，圣像龛。
Okay, now after I explain to you the main the father category, son category, and grandson category in the scientific classification system, this is called like that.
这个石窟的这个发展系统，它就像三代人，就是说爷爷、父亲、孙子的这么一个传承。
So this is monofunction is father, duofunction is father, and trifunction is father. But this is son, that is son, and under the son there are grandsons.
就是它有这种，就最早，也不算最早，就是说在肢体库，比如说肢体库举例的话，它是一个大的类型，然后它下面有两种子类型，子类型下面又有若干种亚型，就是这么一种体系。
The principle of science, the scientific classification system means if you are putting this grandson here, then his parent is this. You cannot put this son into any other category.
就是说，它的这个逻辑的话，或者科学的原则的话，就是说，当这种肢体库它只能归到肢体库类，它不可能放到丹纳或者说是曼达帕这些类型里面。
So now let us come to what are the sub variety of this monofunctional architecture. First variety is called Chaitya okay, now let me tell you one thing. In a classification system, like the Darwinian in the biology, when we follow taxonomy, then three things are important. In classification system. Number one is of course that has to be a logical structure. Number two, one species cannot be put into another, cannot belong to another species. And the third thing is nomenclature. You have to put the name of each type. Okay, so in chemistry, for example, different chemicals have been given different names. So similarly here we are trying to give the names. So for nomenclature system, I am bringing the word from inscriptions, Sanskrit inscriptions or Prakrit inscription or whatever epigraphic is evidence which is found inside that monument. I am bringing the word from there. I am not using the word from London or Germany or from New Delhi or from China. I am using the word which is found inside the monument.
就是说我这种，这个好长，刚才我
我
说
刚才没注意。
就是说关于这种分类的有原则，然后这个原则主要有三部分内容，然后这三部分内容的话，three principles.
Yeah. One is
the first one.
One is the logical structure.
就是一种逻辑的结构。
Second is one species cannot be put into another one. One class cannot be put into
就
another
是
class.
一种类型的不能就是一种基本的类型不能被归于另外一种类型。
And third is nomenclature. That is how to give the name of each class.
好，就是那个。
Yeah. In chemistry, there are scientific names. Like in biology website, like we are the scientific name for me is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens, human beings.
就是这种命名的规则是，它是一种怎么说？就是说。
or the scientific name for water is H2O.
一些元素，通过一些元素来命名，它就像水有 H2O 那个。
Right? There is a name. So this is a nomenclature system which is followed in biology. There is a nomenclature system which is followed in chemistry. Same system I'm trying to follow in Buddhist architecture.
就是有些元素它就会有一种佛教石窟建筑的一些基本的一些元素。
So here, inscription is found in these monuments where these buildings are called Chetiya Ghara.
就是说，在这一类型，就是左上角第一块的一些类型石窟里面，他们发现了题记有一些，然后就是说这种被命名为肢体窟 （Chetya-gara） 肢体窟。
And Chetiya means this round stupa or Chetiya, which is found inside, and Ghara means house for the stupa, Chetiya Ghara.
就是说这种类型的石窟的话，中间就有一个富国斯吧，然后 gara 的意思它就是个房间的意思，它这个 Chetya gara 就是把斯巴和房子就这种空间组合到一起。
So as you can see, in this building, there is only one function, that is for worship. There is no other function. Here this is written function, that is worship. That is I'm following a theory of functionalism, because this hall, for example, has a function, that is to have a lecture or have a meeting. This is the function, right? So architecture, every unit of architecture is always meant for some function. From this functional angle, Indian Buddhist architecture has not been sufficiently studied before.
就是说，这些石窟的只有一个功能，就是用来礼拜，然后这种基本的这种建筑单元都是具有一些功能的。像这个大厅，这个房间，它主要就是用来开会也好，或者说是举办讲座也好。然后，但是说呢，关于这种印度石窟寺的这种功能的这种研究，实际上目前还不是特别的充分。
I know that in China, Chinese scholars are using this functional method to study the Chinese grottos, but it is not the same in Indian scholarship.
就是说，在中国有很多学者已经开始关注这种石窟的功能的问题，但是说印度学者还没有开展这方面。
So I learned from the Chinese scholars. Whatever little bit I was able to learn about Chinese scholars, and I found this method, functional method, very useful tool to study Indian cave temples. So 10 years I invested. First I came in touch with Professor Li Chongfeng in Peking University.
就是10年前，他跟李崇峰认识了以后，他学习了这种方法，然后他也搞这个功能性研究，他觉得是个非常好的研究方法。
And first from his writing, because he wrote some articles in English, so first from his writings I came to know about this functional approach, and I found it to be very useful.
当时李崇峰给他写信，就是说他想要知道这个窟的功能，他当时觉得这个太好了。
And I applied the same functional approach to Indian caves. Then a whole new revelations, new ideas, new revelations came in my research process.
就是说，这种关于功能研究给我了一些新的想法和一种新的革命。
So second subvariety will come. It is called Lena in Prakrit language and Layanam in Sanskrit language.
这个第二个这个板块是关于这种新房窟的，然后这个
Lena 就是
Prakrit language.
Prakrit 语就是俗语，方言嘛，相当于方言。然后后面那个什么 Layanam 那是法文。
Layanam is Sanskrit, same meaning. So, I told you about the nomenclature system, that is naming. These are not, I'm not giving these names. Those people gave these names, who made these caves.
这个名称并不是我给他命的名，是这些名由施主命名的。
对对对，这个 Lana 它是刻在那个石窟上的，比如称这种石窟为 Lana。
So Lena or Layana was a special type of building which was only one function, monofunction, only one, that is for the monk to live.
就是说，这种僧房窟它是有一种功能，就是主要为了僧人居住生活使用。
So you can see that this is one cell for one monk, one cell, one cell, one cell. Initially, at two cell for two monks. So initially, whenever you see like this, it has to be earliest. You don't have to cry for inscription everywhere. No. That is why I'm proposing that my classification system will help you. Immediately you see it, you can give the date. Okay? It is the earliest after the Ashoka time. First, they did not know how to make complex buildings. They started with making very, very simple buildings.
就是说我的这个研究就是向大家展示这种就很清晰的向大家展示这种石窟的这个时期吧。然后我们可以看到这种僧房窟，它就属于就是一个僧人，然后一个空间，one cell， 然后
Yeah, and then we come to the third sub-variety, which is called matapa, the function, which is a hall. Matapa in Prakrit, mandap in Sanskrit. Both have the same meaning. The word is found from inscription, and the function was only one function, that is assembly, meeting, congregation, like we are doing in this hall.
第三种类型的话，俗语叫曼塔巴，然后后面也是它的范文，然后它实际上就是一种公共的空间，然后主要用来集会啊、开会，然后或者说是吃饭呀、这些功能，它是一个比较大的这种大体。
So you will tell, so I explain to you right now monofunctional architecture. Now you will say, what is the use of it? What is the significance of it? Here is the significance. If you were living in the time of Ashoka or just after Ashoka, when the Buddhist architecture is just beginning, that time they did not know how to make complex buildings. They made three buildings. If you make a monastery or sangha, you made three buildings. One building for worship, one building for living, and third building for hall, for the monks to hall. You were making three buildings.
这是阿育王时期。
就是在阿育王时期的话，这个建筑的话是比较简单的这种早期的这种佛教建筑。然后你要修建一个大的寺庙，它主要就是有三部分的这种简单的这种空间组成。第一个就是这种礼拜的空间，第二个是这种居住的空间，然后再就是这种大厅的公共的空间，这种三种类型。
But after some time, maybe just after 20, 30 years, I feel, only after 20, 30 years, or maybe within 50 years of Ashoka time, when the first cave in India began, it began like this. But very soon in 20, 30 years, somebody said, man, why to make two buildings? Can't we combine two functions together under the same roof?
就是说，在这个阿育王之后的时期的话，就是说你为什么要造这种分开的这种建筑？你为什么不把其中两个的功能合到一起？然后就这意思。
So here we find, these are examples. As I told you, there are thousands, 2,500, more than 2,500 caves. I'm bringing you some examples here just to explain the point.
就是我下面来展示一些例子，去讨论关于这种双功能石窟的一些想法。
So very soon what they did, they combined two functions. One is for living, another for worship. Two functions.
就是说这个是双功能的视谱，一个是主要用于一个是礼拜和居住的这种结合功能的结合。
Here also, for living, these cells are for living, for residence, and this is for worship. Two functions combined.
这个同样也是用来这个礼拜和这个居住的这么一种空间。
Here also, you can see hall for congregation. Hall. Okay. Here it is. Here it is worship plus dwelling. Dwelling means a monk living place. Dwelling. In English we call dwelling. Dwelling. So worship plus dwelling. But here no dwelling.
就是说，在第一个就左手第一个板块里面，它这个主要是用于这个礼拜和居住的这种空间，但是说在第二个这个板块里面，就是不存在这种居住的空间。
Here it is worship plus congregation, meeting, assembly.
第二个功能就是说将礼拜与集会的功能结合到一起。
Right? But here, no assembly possible. There is no hall.
就是在第一个板块里面，这里就是集会是不可能的，它没有这种大厅的空间。
So this is made by they united this and this. This plus this, you get this. This plus that, you get this.
就是这种插下 Gara 和 Lana 的组合，就形成了这种左手的这个第一个类型。然后Chatia 和 Mandapa 的类型，就这种大厅和 Chatia 的组合，就形成了中间的这种第二个。
It is like a formula, basically formula.
它就像公式一样的组合。
Okay, and this is here. That and that you combine and you get this here.
就当你把这种Lana 分房部和这种集会的空间组合到一起的话，它就形成这种居住和大厅的结合的这种Mandapa 的这种组合形式。
Because you have got hall and you have got cell. You can do meeting and you can also one can live there.
这里有这种单一的这种 cell 的这种小房间，也有大厅，然后你可以居住，也可以说这种集会都可以实现。
But there is no worship. You cannot do worship here. There is no Buddha, no stupa.
但是说在下面的这种空间里面，你是无法做礼拜的，因为它没有佛塔，也没有佛像。
So whenever you see duo functional, two function, that means it is slightly later. Later, advance.
就是说，它这种 two function 的这种就两种功能的视图，它要更晚一些。
So when you are next time going to India for field work, whenever you such case, you can give the date.
就是说，你下次去印度，你们也可以根据这种课程去做这种分析。
Okay, when you see monkey before man, this is man after from monkey.
就是说像猴子到人的这么进化的这种顺序一样。
Okay, and then this one, because no photo, I will go to the next slide. This is the same thing I'm explaining here, monofunctional. Monofunction, all different varieties of monofunction.
就是说，刚才因为三功能视图就是我们待会再讲，然后现在的话向大家展示的就是这种单一视图的这种大概的类型的情况。
And so this is all Chaitya. Okay, now I want to tell you something. Actually, it is very much interesting and very much deep. If you focus on parent, Chaitya son. Parent is monofunctional, Chaitya is the son.
就是说，我们 现在就是讲这个关于肢体库的这么一个
Chatyakara is the son.
is the son of
Son of monofunctional parent.
它就是这个单一石窟下面的一个子类型。
Okay, so now this son has grandson.
然后它就是说子类型下面有这种亚型和这种次亚型的这种情况。
Okay, so one grandson is called dome roof, another is called flat roof.
就是这种肢体库，它有两种大的两种亚型，一个是这种带有穹顶的这种类型，一个是平顶的类型。
Okay, so and this grandson has two great grandson.
就是在穹顶类型下面还有两种亚型。
So two type of dome roof. Roof is like a dome. This whole roof is like a dome. So both are dome roof, but this has no pillar and that has pillar.
就是这种穹顶的类型的石窟里面，这种肢体库里面还有两种子类型，就是一种是没有柱廊的，一种是有这种柱廊的类型。
So I want to ask you, Professor, a question. I'm not giving you any detail, no inscription, no date, nothing, simply two plans. And I want to ask you, this also has dome roof, this also has dome roof, this is circular, this is also circular plan, this has no pillar, but this has pillar, which is earlier, and which is later in your understanding.
就是我现在问王老师，就是这个我们看到了两种这种肢体窟，然后它们都是圆形的，然后一种没有柱子，一种有柱子，那哪一种在王老师看来更早？
肯定有柱子更早啊
Professor said maybe with pillars is the earliest.
This is early.
Yeah.
So if this is early and this is later,
Yeah.
This is done by me and this is done by you. Tell me why you don't want pillar. Do you hate pillars?
你很痛恨柱子吗？为什么？
按照正常来说，应该技术进步应该会把柱子取掉。
Basically, in China architectural tradition, when the technology advanced, they can remove the pillar. In China. Wooden architecture
是不是嘛？应该是嘛。
简入法，简入法就是这种，更精简，力学支撑更合理了。
Oh, you are actually quite right, and it also happened in India, but that happened much later.
在印度它可能更晚这种现象。
But this time, they were very much scared that the ceiling will collapse. Ceiling, floor will collapse.
就是印度的情况，早期的情况的话，它可能直接从天花板直接这个柱子就做起来了。
一根柱子，中心柱啊。
就是说这种柱子这种石构，它就直接就从头到底直接就走下来了。
那就是中心柱嘛，那个一个。
它可能柱廊也是这样子。
So later on, they became confident that if they make wide hall, ceiling is not going to collapse because it's a very big mountain. That confidence and knowledge they got later, but in the beginning they were very much scared that the ceiling will collapse. So, in the beginning they wanted pillar. This is the general case, but here, if you go inside this, only one person can walk. This is hardly 5 foot. This is hardly 5 foot. Only one maybe 2 person can walk, but not 3 person. Okay, so this was a problem. So they said, if we have pillar, we can make it 10 feet wide.
第二。
就是说，早期这种形式的话，实际上这种只能有一个人同行，可能最多两个人，它就是有5英尺宽，大概可以。到后来这种加上柱子以后，它可以使这个空间做得更大，上面穹顶可以做得更大，跨度更大，所以说它的这种可能可以到这种10英尺的这个。
Actually, both belong to the same period, late 3rd century BC, within 50 years. Both of them made within 50 years. But this is before and that is later.
The date is
Within 50 years. The date of this is late 3rd century BC.
BC
Late 3rd century BC, before Christ.
later 这个时间没看。
Late 3rd century.
10th century。
Yeah, late 3rd century BC, before Christ.
就是在这个公元前应该是。
Let us say when your Qin dynasty.
公元前1000年。
10th century.
Yeah, when China's Qin dynasty going on. In China's earliest dynasty, Qin dynasty going on, that time they were made.
就大概在公元前10世纪，相当于中国秦朝。这么早吧？我也不知道。
10世纪不是哦，是秦朝吗？不是秦朝，公元前哈。
公元前。
Yeah, and they make so these are dome roof, without pillar and with pillar. If you do field work, then this is a plan. But if you go and do field work, then you will know that this really makes this plan makes sense. Now let us come here. That is dome roof, and this is flat roof.
这种类型它就是一种平顶的类型。
See, this is also circular, and this is also circular. But dome roof, but this is flat roof.
它们的平面都是圆形的，但是说第一种类型它就是穹顶，圆形的穹顶；第二种它就是平顶。
So let us say this is made by, I was the donor. For this, you were the donor, and for this, Dr. Yang is the donor. So please tell me why Dr. Yang says, I want flat roof.
就是说，比如说拉杰是他是第一个这种穹顶石窟的施主，然后我是第二种的施主，然后杨博是第三种的施主。那我为什么杨博是他做的有平顶？
Can you tell any possible reason?
你们有任何这种关于这种可能性的想法吗？就为什么第三种是
or can we say that in this hotel, why don't we have dome roof?
就是在这种空间里面，hotel我们为什么要造这种穹顶呢？最开始为什么要穹顶？
穹顶有更好的支撑吧？
为什么一开始穹顶，后来就变成平顶？那为什么我们一开始造这穹顶？
Or can you say why in this architecture or in most architecture today we are only wanting flat roof?
为什么在今天的现代建筑里面都是平的？为什么我们不造这种穹顶？
支撑性。
我反正觉得早期的穹顶肯定是为了更好的支撑。
in the early period, maybe the dome, we use the dome to make this construction more stronger.
Actually, when you go and analyze a lot of those buildings and go deeper into it, you will find that the reason why we have the flat roof here is very simple, because flat roof is more easy to make. Flat, square and flat is easy to make for the carver. If you have a dome roof, for the carver to get a dome shape, it's very difficult.
就是说，实际上我们在印度的这个建筑技术里面，实际上现在造平顶很容易、很简单这个技术，但是你造穹顶的话，反而是比较难的一个技术。
Okay, so later on you will see that in Indian cave architecture, they started preferring flat roof, and they started preferring square halls. This, think inside, if you are going in a mountain and you tell your sculptor, make a round hall, make a round hall. Making a round hall inside a mountain is very difficult.
就是说，在这个建筑的制造技术里面，我们要造一个圆形的这么一个空间，实际上是更难的。
So in later times, they started preferring square halls and flat buildings.
所以说，我们在稍微晚一点的时候，我们会制造一些这种平顶和这种正方形的平面。
And the photo of the same building, you see that has the round hall, dome roof, that is the flat roof and flat roof, square hall and round hall. So if you are the artist, and I tell you, make me a round hall like that, or make me a dome roof like that, or and this. So which is easy? That is easy, or this is easy for the sculptor to carve?
就是我们现在看到有比如说若干个案例，图尔加的3号图，坎内里的36号图以及朱纳的2号图。那么就是我们看到第一个图尔加的这个石窟，它是一个圆形平面，然后是穹顶里面是，然后坎内里和朱纳它是这种方形平面和平底的，然后你认为哪一种是更容易实现操作的？
Yeah. So you will see that in later times they stopped making round plants and they stopped making a dome roof. Mostly.
就是所以说到后来几乎的话，这种都是采用了这种平顶或者说是这种方形的平面的这种形式。
So this flat roof and square become the preferred pattern because the sculptor said, sir, it is very easy to do. I can do it in 1 month. But if you ask me to do a round one and the square feet, I will take 6 months.
就是我造一个这种平顶的，或者说是方形平面的，可能1个月就能结束了。但是说你让我造个圆的，造个穹顶的，可能我要花3个月的时间。
And if you are the patron who is paying for the money, if you have a square and this one, you can pay only for the 1 month. But if you want a round one, you have to pay for 6 months.
还是刚才的这个内容重复了一下。
So now that was the Chetiyagara type and subtype, the Laina type. These are the, whenever you see the single cell, okay, isolated single cell, it has to be very early, right after the Ashoka time, during your equivalent to your Qin dynasty.
Also in the
Just right after Ashoka. Yeah.
early
After Ashoka. Yeah.
就是说，这个是比阿育王时期稍微晚一点的这种石窟的类型，就是这种莱纳窟，就是这种森王窟，它是一个单独的、隔离的、互相不影响的空间，一个组成的这种。
Okay, tell me now, this is something very interesting here. This is the liner type, earliest liner, that is for monk to live. Okay, I'm bringing you some examples. So in the other variety, the liner variety, we have two, that is the son and grandson, single cell and multiple cell. Okay, single cell, single cell, single cell, single cell, and single cell, and that is multiple cell. So there are two varieties.
就是说，莱纳窟它有2种亚型，就是说这种单独的这种居室的类型，以及这种多居室的一种类型。
Yeah. And then this grandson has 3 great grandsons.
就是第一种亚型下面它又有3种次亚型。
So one is This is near Bombay, Jivadan Vira it's called. I'm not reading the name of sites because they may be complicated for you. So here, one single cell made, and open front means there is no wall here. Archaeologists did not find any evidence of wall here, and this is open front, but here we have front wall plus doorway. This has no front wall and no doorway. This is before or this is before.
就是说，在就是两种下行里面，第一种它是没有前面的这个墙的，它是一种开放的，就是目前的考古学家没有发现任何有关于它存在墙的这种证据啊。然后第二种类型，它是有前面的这种墙，然后带有一个门道的这种类型。然后就请问大家哪一种更早？
So I'm asking you a question. This can be before or that can be before. What is your guess?
就是你们的想法，就是哪一种更早？
Must be A. Must be A.
This one. And why?
Because it's very simple.
Very simple. And the sculptor did a mistake. The monk said, or the patron said, make a cell for the monk. Okay? And he said, okay, I'm doing it. And he just started without an open front because he was doing it for the first time in his life. This is the beginning of Buddhist architecture. That time there was no knowledge. And when they did it, and then they said, a monk said, come on, where I can fix the door? It's cold coming, rain coming, man. And later on they said, okay, let me make a very small opening and leave the door and then carve the big cell inside. So this knowledge did not exist, and now the knowledge existed. So you can see, just by looking at the plan, you can tell the date. Every time, please don't ask for inscriptions. They are not to be found everywhere.
就说实际上在兰纳窟里面，我们并没有发现奇迹。然后说，就是早期的这种石窟，就是因为这个仅仅是这种建筑类型的开端，所以说我们并没有制造这种前面的这个墙，然后所以说也没办法去固定，就是有这种门的这种固定的这种条件哈。所以说到后来发展出了这种可以安装门的这种兰纳窟的这种形式。
And when this happened, then the monk said, look, either I'm outside all day in the rain, or I'm inside the house, inside the room, okay? Why can't you make a small veranda?
就是说，我们就一开始造这种只有一个空间的这种居住空间的兰纳窟，为什么我们后来在前面又加一个这种小的这种厅？
那是瓦兰达，就是前廊。
前廊。
Yeah.
Porch.
Porch.
对。
So when he made a porch, then the monk is very happy to sit here all day and enjoy the rainy season, because during the rainy season the monk is supposed to come and live here. If it is not rainy season, he's just wandering around.
就是说，这种前面加个墙以后，你可以在这sit，
就是坐在那儿很舒服 ，enjoy 的气候啊、风景啊。
就有一些可能更舒服的空间吧。
And the monk said, I have no place, little bit things I have to keep. Where will I keep? I keep it on the floor, then where will I sleep? Can you do something? Then he said, okay, sir. Inside the wall, he made a niche.
就是说，后来僧人提出了更多的要求，然后就出现了这种壁龛niche，就是在墙上会凿一个壁龛。
Okay, and then the monk said, look, I'm too old and I've got arthritis problem, and so in the porch, you did not make any bench. Where will I sit? So a bench was made by extending the wall. This bench is maybe an afterthought.
就是说，后来在这个前廊的位置上也会开凿出这种石凳， 平台，这种小的这种石台子，然后你可以坐那儿，就是石凳的这种bench这么一种构建。
And you know, later on, in another place, they said, "Come on, I mean, why can't we have two cells? So two monk, myself and my dear Bhante, another monk, and we live together. So here we have a porch with two cells."
就是说后来又发展出这种，就是说更多的这种森房，就是说你可以做邻居这种两个这种居住空间的这种森房，你们可以住到一起。
So I'm just through these. Of course, there are hundreds of examples like this throughout India, but through these examples, I want to illustrate to you a point that a gradual evolution of architecture and a logical evolution you can see.
就是我们在这种森房户的这种发展过程中，我们可以看到一种就很有逻辑的一种发展的这种过程。
And same case photo I'm sharing with you.
这有一些照片的案例给大家分享。这是朱纳的Ganesh，然后也都还有考科内里的这种森房户的这种形式。
So as we were saying, that see they were making a small hall here, okay, small hall here, but very soon they realized they can make big halls. You see?
一开始我们可以看到它这个房间还比较小，但是很快这个空间就发展成比较大的这种空间。
他说做了一个大厅。
大厅。
You know, and no pillar.
No pillar. Yeah.
So if you go to India next time for field study, you know, if you see this cave and if you see this cave, which is earlier and which is later, can you tell me?
那当你下次去印度的时候，你觉得刚才前一页 PPT 的那个更早，还是说这一页 PPT 的更早？所以你给出你的想法。You please.
The former. So I have developed a technique for you, for students, that when you are going to field trip in India, don't read any book. Okay? No need to read any book. Okay? And don't look for inscriptions. They are written in a language you will not be able to read. Even I cannot read. But believe in your eyes and believe in your rational faculty which is inside your brain, and you can unlock everything about the caves. All the answers. The caves are ready to tell you everything, but you need to think logically when you go there.
他就说你去之前也不要读书，也不要看那些题记，就是用你的眼睛去看，用你的逻辑去思考。
So here is now another example of matapa. Now we were talking about another type. This is another type of matapa. This is a very interesting and very fascinating. Some of the things happened here. So. Look at this cave, Nagarjuna Hills. Professor Leading knows that in all books of Indian architecture,
就是我们现在是讲这个马萨帕这种大厅功能的这种建筑类型。然后第一个的话是在龙树山的这个石窟，然后李老师非常熟，就这个应该巴尔巴拉的这个石窟哈。
In all books of Indian architecture, whether published by the Germans or French or Americans or Indians or maybe even the Chinese scholars, the story begins from Barabar and Nagarjuna caves, and they say it is the earliest.
就是说
Right?
就是说在这个不管是在法国人还是德国的学者，还是甚至包括中国学者的一些著述中，一般我们讲这个龙树山的这个巴尔巴拉石窟是最早的，是一个开端。
And even inscription is there. Ashoka inscription is there.
Yes.
就是阿育王时期的这个题记是在这儿是有发现的。
Okay? And now, look at this hall. The size of this hall is, I think, the size of something like this size of this hall.
就这个里面的尺寸，空间的尺寸可能和这个我们现在这个厅里面的尺寸可能差不多。
Okay, the difference is here we have this hall is square, but that hall is not square. That is oval from both the
区
sides.
别在于巴尔巴拉什库它的这个是有这种圆形的这种半球的这种平面吧。
And the ceiling is not flat like this, but the ceiling is, I would call it ball cake. That is a wrong idea, but I call it cylindrical, like a cylinder. It is like a half cylinder.
就是说，这个像我们这个空间它是有平顶的，然后这个巴尔巴拉什库的这个平面的这个空间的话，它是我不想用这个拱顶这个词，我认为这个拱顶这个概念有问题，但是我想用这个它是一个像圆柱体的这么一种空间。
And it is made in the hardest rock in the world, that is granite. Granite stone.
它是一种非常坚硬的一种岩石。
Granite stone is the hardest stone.
什么什么？他就是说这个石头很硬。
就我觉得这个石头的这个名词我。
但应该是玄武岩。
Like the Egyptian pyramids, also made in granite.
也玄武岩，这是玄武岩的。
像这个爱斯金字塔，它也是用玄武岩制成的。
And we are told by scholars, all the book if you consult, we are told by scholars because inscription is there, Ashoka inscription is there, and date is there, not in this one, but in other caves which I am not showing you. They were all done during the Ashoka time. So, can you tell me how, if these are the first cave architecture in, okay, how they are so sophisticated, so advanced?
就是说，你能告诉我为什么这个它这个石窟一开始就做这么精巧的 sophisticated？ 就是它为什么一开始就做了？因为这个加工的这种技术实际上很难，为什么它一开始就这么的成熟？
Here I want to suggest you that if you think about it very deeply, then you will know. That is why I am asking you not to believe the books you have read.
不要相信你看的书上写的那些东西。
Okay, and do fresh thinking. That just now I showed you many things how cave architecture is beginning. They were not able to find how to make cave.
就是它为什么这些，就是它怎么一开始就实现这种，就开始制作这种
Okay.
工艺。
And we have been told that cave architecture begins from Ashoka time. Before Ashoka, no cave existed.
就是说，在这个鄂豫王时期之前是不存在的，但是鄂豫王时期它就开始出现这种石窟。
So in the Ashoka time, how do we get this sophisticated? And if you go inside, this all the wall is just like glass.
就是说，在阿育王时期的这个石窟，它技术已经非常高超，然后它的这个墙面就是非常光滑，像玻璃一样。
So all I want to show, I want to tell you is that even I don't have any answer, but there is a question. What I showed you earlier and what I'm showing you here, there is a question that something is not matching.
就是说，它的这个，我现在对这个问题没有任何的答案。它有一些东西并没有匹配上这个，就是在鄂豫王时代和这个现实和这个我们看到的这个实力这个不匹配。
And
I guess it was donated much money.
I think maybe the donors have a lot of money to build this one.
yeah, no, your guess is quite logical because he was the king. Ashoka was a very great king. But where do you get the artists who have this knowledge? Because if this is the first if this is the earliest, then where the knowledge and perfection came from?
就是说你说的这个是有逻辑的，因为魏王本身他就是国王嘛，所以说他来赞助的话，实际上这个是能理解的。但是说问题在于工匠是如何实现它的，工匠是哪来的这个知识去制作它
？This laptop is so advanced. 20 years before, you cannot have this laptop. The first laptop cannot be like this.
就是说20年前那个笔记本电脑，这个也就是长得也不是这个样子，但是你一开始就是以一种很高超的形式出现，那么这个从哪来的？
This single cave existing here, and what the scholars have written that this is among the first cave in India. Okay, I'm saying that something is not right. Okay, you young scholars should go to India and do investigation. Forget the books, because many things have been written in the books, and nobody has written Bible in art history. Nobody has written Bible in art history. New research is necessary. New research is needed.
就是说你要去印度去做调查，然后可以去这个巴尔巴石窟，然后它这块也没任何的这种，让我们需要一些新的研究。
我在想他是不是那个其他国家的工匠跟他一样
Dr. Mara said maybe this technology brought by the foreign artists.
Here you are talking.
你这是一个
Yes.
话题，值得去讨论。
Yes. Just now he said. That's like maybe this technology, this advanced technology brought by the foreigners. And this is what I have suggested in my book, that during Ashoka time, that is the time when Alexander came from Europe and towards India, and he was killed so many people on the way. So there must have been like Ukraine like crisis, lot of refugee, and Ashoka time lot of people came. So that time already in West Asia you had ancient cave traditions. From there, this knowledge, you had the Lycians, you had the Egyptians, and in Ethiopia and in Africa, in many places before Ashoka time, very long cave tradition was going on, and from there this knowledge, this craftsmanship perhaps came, and this is a new proposition. This is a new proposition because in existing books nobody has made such suggestion, as if Buddhist architecture just fell from the sky.
Yes. In the Persia, the king of Darius.
Yeah, Darius.
That time is already make cave.
Yeah.
For the grill, but not for the mountain, for the monk. For the grill, make the cave in the mountains.
So what I'm trying to say, that Chinese people are very much open and saying that this came from Gandhara, this came from Europe, this came from Iran, this came from India, and localized. But Indian historians say no.
See, in China, no, not open.
Nothing came from anywhere. This is all India's greatness. We created it out of nowhere, like God created. One day decided create a new cave out of nowhere. So what I'm trying to say, that there is a lot of scope. Every single cave in India is asking for more research. You young researchers, please go to India and do more research. So some examples I'm showing you about this Matapa caves.
就这是一些关于这种公共空间的石窟的一些案例，包括克雷米的石窟以及朱纳的石窟。
就是刚才他说那个马大帕呀，马大帕就是那个相当于中国的那个方形窟或者佛殿窟，但是呢，就是那个我看这个功能是明显的，他说是在阿育王的时候就有，但实际上应该是在公元前1世纪才出现，没有到公元前3世纪。从那以后，就是每个石窟组合当中必须有一个马大帕，因为它用来公共空间嘛，这布施啊、吃饭呀、互相交流、生俗、互相交流什么的。 就是马克就认为那个东西实际上是相当于中国的佛殿窟，相当于佛殿窟，就集体活动嘛。但是呢，老魏啊，就北大老魏他不认可，他不认北大他们特别固执，他们没有去过印度。OK.
So in my classification, the first line, I did not tell you about something which is here. That is about another type of cave called Podhi in Prakrit and Ambu Nidhan in Sanskrit.
就是我之前在之前 PPT 的分类里面，我并没有列出这个类型，它就是一个蓄水池的这么一个类型。
So these were basically to solve the water problem. So this also required a specialized knowledge of architecture and science. You know, science of water system, how to collect water, how to store water, and how to make. So this is also an architectural variety. In my first slide, in my first slide, Podhi is seen here. Here, body system. So let me tell you, not much research has happened on this. This Buddhist had a very advanced water harvesting system. So this is one.
就是关于一个这种水利工程系统的这个实例。
对，这个我在那个第3卷里头写的很清楚。
And another variety also is found called bench. You know. But in inscription, the word Asan Pedika is used in Prakrit. So I'm just telling you that they had architectural lexicons.
就是说这个是我前面我提到的这个石座，然后它是在这个上面发现的题记是
Asan Pedik.
Asan Pedik.
Yeah, and from Kanheri. This is from Kanheri.
就那个 H 是不发音的。
哦。
Pedika.
Pedika, Asan Pedika. Okay, this is just a Sanskrit word, and the English means. Then this is a Kodi. Kodi means a niche.
这个是这种龛，壁龛，不应该有说龛吗 ？Complete 就是指的这种壁龛。
And we don't know. Still, I have no idea what was the function of this.
但是我现在对这个壁龛的这个功能还没有任何的想法，就是我不知道它到底是用来干什么的。
So a good scientist is what you can find, you tell, yes, this is my proposition. What you don't know, you simply say, sorry, I don't know.
这个我不知道。
Okay, so that was all monofunctional, the photograph, and this is the bifunctional. I have already explained to you. So I will move ahead. This one of the when I told you there was a formula, they combined LC is called Lena Chetiyagara. Lena and Chetiyagara combined, and they make like this.
就是我在这里就是讲的就开始讲第二个类型的关于双功能视图的这么一种类型。然后呢，我这里的缩写就是说 LC 的意思就是说我将这个 Lena 或 Chetya 我就是组合的这么一种形式。
And another variety is called Matapa Chetiyagara, two function combined, hall and worship, congregation and worship.
就是说第二种类型就是将这个肢体和大厅结合起来的这种用于礼拜以及集会的这种功能的这种视图。
So I want to tell you something here very quickly, and leading madam will like this very much. This is Kondavite, one site in Bombay, and she has gone there. Now the problem is, the entrance is from here. You enter from here, and then inside the mountain this is carved, and then here is the Chetiya, and this is the dome. The problem is about lighting. This is all mountain. Inside the mountain, this is the dome. When you enter from, sorry, this is what Kondavite. No, I'm very much sorry. No. I confused with some other thing. Here you have the front, and of course there was a wall here. that wall is now broken. So the problem is that this is a hall for congregation like meeting. Some 10 monks to 200 monks, 100 monks can gather and do chanting and all that kind of thing. And a single door, then this is the wall, because they were making around a shrine for the stupa. Now the problem is, inside it's very dark, because from this door sufficient light is not coming.
就是说，这个问题实际上是一个关于采光的问题。然后就是当我们进入这个内部的这个后室，然后我们去绕这个中间那个塔的时候，实际上里面是这个采光是严重不足的。
And so later on, everywhere they never again they repeated this wall here, because you are carving from here, remove the stone carving, then they retained this wall and then went and carved inside and throw the stone. But here they did not do anything like this. They say, we don't want any wall here, because just cut the wall, because more light is needed inside. There was lighting problems, no lighting problem. So even if you don't read any book, I'm again asking you, don't read any book. If you just see the plan, you can say this is before and that is later.
就是说到后来，实际上这个采光问题就得到了解决，然后就不存在这个将之前的这个就我们这个后室里面就是这种封闭的空间，它后来的这个采光问题都得到了解决。所以说你也不用读任何书，你现在也能判断出，这个左边的这个是更早期的，右边的这些是更晚期的这么一种。
Yeah, but again, if I may tell you one more thing, in Ajanta cave, this is an open front, but here there is a wall. Here also there is wall and porch. So when they made open front, then bird is coming. A lot of birds are coming, and sometimes some animal also coming inside. So when this is a very early Chaitya. So when they started making a very big Chaitya, from here this is the mountain, and they are making this Chaitya. So they started carving from there. They just removed the whole wall. And later on they realized that we have done a mistake. All the bird is coming, and sometimes some animal will come. So they need a protection. So they added the wall later. So this is cave number Ajanta cave number 10, Ajanta cave number 9. Many things we can read in this plan, even if you are not on the site, even if you are not doing field work. Just by reading the plan, you can say how the evolution happened. Here no wall, here they put a wall.
就是说我们看这个平面可以看出一个问题，就是说，但是说有些问题还是得通过去现场的这个田野调查才能发现。就是说为什么从阿占陀的石窟到阿占陀的时候，这个我们从这个前部的这个敞开的这种形式发展出了一个带有这种墙的这种形式。就是说我们为了实际上是一种保护里面这个石窟寺内部的一个功能，就是说防止一些什么人啊或者动物啊进来，然后就把它就是所以说就是前面后来开始造墙。
More thing, here you have the round back, but here you have square back. What could be the reason?
还有一个问题就是说，更早的这个10号窟的话，我们可以看到它的这个后室的这部分，它的这个墙，这个整个空间平面是圆形的。然后到9号窟时期，它这个空间后部它就变成方的，它这个是什么原因造成的？这是一个问题。
So reason was again same, because this is more for the sculptor. This shape is more difficult for the sculptor. This shape is not so difficult. And that is why in later Chaitya, if you take plan of all put in the computer, take the data of all the plan, you will find this oval shape only 10 to 20%. This shape maybe 80%.
就是实际上你去，如果说你去做一个列表的话，或做个统计的话，你会发现，这个前面的这个可能只有10%这种形式，然后后面的话可能在80%以上的这么一个数量。
And look at this porch here. Here there's a front door, another door, another door, and then here you have a porch. But no porch here, no porch here, no porch here. Why?
在这发展到可内里3号图的时候，我们可以看到它前面有3个门儿，然后门儿外面有一个前廊，有个门廊。那么就从阿张图的这个到发展到可内里，为什么我们在前面加了一个门廊？
Yeah, let me tell you. This has a date, this has no date, this has no date, and even this has no date. In that case, how do you put the date?
就是可内里的这个是有纪年的，但是说前3个是没有纪年的。那么你如何去做这个分期的这个问题？
If you see the published book on art and archaeology, different authors telling different things together. But here I'm giving you a technique to read the plans, and then you can give your own dating. This is first, this is later, and this is the latest. And there's no need to read any book.
比如说，实际上你去看一些关于考古学家们发表的这东西，实际上每个人各执己词吧，就说的都不一样。但是我呢，就在教了大家这套的话，实际上你可以不用读任何书，你就可以做这个分析。
And I feel I have a complaint against Chinese protection department. They are not allowing inside the cave to read books. In Indian cave allowed.
就是说。
Students can go and read.
就是说那个中国，就是他们的话，他们允许这些 students 就学生们在这个食库里面做作业啊，或者看书啊干什么。
但是我上次去也是，它这里边特别安静，复习高考就在寺庙里，就在这个石窟里头。对，我看好几个学生在这里面。This is a Mahagari cave.
And so, as I told you, this is a very early cave, maybe 2nd century BC, maybe even before that, maybe 3rd century BC, the cave, because there is no date here. But that sculpture is 5th century AD.
Yes.
就是说这个石窟它没有地基，你说？
是上一页的。
Document has a question about the this
Yeah.
是这个是
Left one.
First 第一个。
不是，我是想说这3个，就是这个是早的，然后这个可能会稍微就是中间
对，它肯定是按这个顺序嘛。
这是最晚的是吧？
不，它是按照顺序，有前廊的是最晚的，就是那个凯里3是最晚的。
哦，因为我原本想的是不是这个圆的会更早，然后方的会晚一些，然后我就把它放到了中间。
那它有前廊应该是最晚的，因为前廊它就考虑到采光啊。
我看后面这边加了3个门嘛。
是3个门，就是实际上就现在巴森虽然看你可以看到，就是他们进入礼拜的时候，应该是僧人走中间的门，然后那个居士或者是次要人走侧门，这样走。OK， please。
他就是说这个石窟寺的这个主体部分应该是在公元前10世纪，然后呢，但是说后面附加的这个石刻，这个佛陀菩萨的话，应该在公元5世纪。
公元前3世纪哪是10世纪？公元前3世纪。他说一般是公元前2世纪，有可能更往前推到公元前3世纪。他没有找过公元阿育王之前的。
So yesterday I was discussing with Professor Lilling about this Buddha on the right, and I was saying that maybe Gandharan people or Chinese people came and donated these images in India. In many sites this is found, and she said yes, she's also thinking, so both of us are thinking in the same direction. But right now the existing scholarship, it's a new kind of research which is emerging. You see the Buddha above, one Buddha, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so there are 7 Buddhas. So they are the 7 Buddhas. In China, it is a very typical theme, 7 Buddhas. In India, okay, this is my dating. My dating is 480 AD. 480. This is late 3rd century BC, and that is 480 AD. That means almost 700-year gap.
就是说中间的这个主体是公元前3世纪的，然后这个佛的这个石像是在公元480年的，然后中间可能有700年的这么一个700多年的这一个空白期。
So and this iconography before this time never existed in any Indian cave.
就是根据图像志来说的话，可能在此之前根本就没有，就是我目前还没有发现这种题材。
7 Buddha iconography never appeared in any Indian cave. So recently I proposed in my latest book that mass migration, I have a theory of mass migration. These Raurans were creating problems with the Beiwei dynasty in Xinjiang, and in Gandhara also, same Raurans are called Huns, Altan Huns. In India we call them Hun. They are known by different names. So they were creating a lot of, they were anti-Buddhist basically, and so there a lot of problems was there. So what I'm trying to say, that there was some war-like condition, and some people from China and some people from Gandhara maybe, they went to this place and donated this because it was very favorite for you. At that time, why you donated? You were donated it. I cannot go to your house. Yesterday I went to the temple. I went to Taoist temple. There I will take one sculptor and say, on this wall make a sculpture for me, just Indian-like sculpture for me. Will they allow me? Will they allow me? They will not allow me. Sorry, you can't do it here. But here, if people from China or people from Gandhara, they came and they want to make a sculpture here, nobody was there to stop them. Means this cave was abandoned. I'm giving you a proof that this cave was abandoned. There is a story hidden in this. So when you went and you said, I want to make this here, there was no honor.
就是说，这个石窟，就是说关于这个七佛的这个图像的题材，然后在此之前一直都没有发现。然后这有一个问题，之前跟李林老师也有讨论过，就是说，那是否是说来自于这个犍陀罗或者说是中国的这些人？当然这牵扯到一个比较复杂的这个关于中亚地区的问题，然后这个也可能说不太清楚。然后就说中国人以及这个或者说他们犍陀罗或者说匈奴人，他们来到了这里。然后理论上来讲的话，如果说你来到一个这个移民来到一个新的地区，那么你去造一个石窟，一个全新的题材，他可能说不会允许你去这么做。但是说，在我看来的话，可能代表的这个石窟是被遗弃了，这是个废弃的没有主人的一个石窟，所以说可以被允许在上面造全新的这个题材。
Okay, the previous caves are here. Now I will finish 1 minute because time is going.
No problem.
Yeah.
You can or the 11 o'clock. No problem.
So this is cave number 9 and 10. I was these caves. Ajanta cave 9, Ajanta cave 10. That is this same cave.
这就是阿兰陀9号窟与10号窟的外部的和内部的一些情况。
And yeah, you can just see.
就是还有这些阿兰陀的19号窟、26号窟的内外的情况。然后26号窟这已经是一个非常规模大的一个城市的一个社区。
See, now you can see. I was showing you earliest plans, but now you see here Okay, that is called trifunctional case because here there are three functions. You can do worship, you can do congregation, that is assembly, and there are cells made, so you can also live there. Monk can live there. All the three functions combined. So I was telling you that there was a formula of evolution: single, monofunctional, bifunctional, and trifunctional. Whenever you see trifunctional cave where worship, assembly, and residence both mixed up, has to be very late.
经过发展，现在这个已经进入一个三重功能石窟的一个时期。然后你可以在这里做礼拜也好，或者说是居住以及集会的功能，都在同一个建筑群里面，一个建筑综合图里面得以实现。这是另外的一些案例吧，包括奥兰贾布德的4号窟、巴加的12号窟以及埃博拉的10号窟。
没看清，你没看清。
So this is Ajanta cave number 12, and you can see the hall, and then for monks to stay, only two purpose, no function of worship.
所以说，这个就是关于僧房窟与这种集会两种功能结合的石窟。然后你可以看到这里有这种僧房以及一个大厅，然后这里没有礼拜的这种场所，没有礼拜的空间。
These are all lena. I call it lena matapa because matapa means hall, lane means dwelling. Both the purpose combined here. I don't call them vihara because other scholars call them vihara. I don't call them vihara because vihara word becomes very confusing.
这个就是莱纳窟和马特帕的这种结合的类型。莱纳呢就是僧房，马特帕就是一个莱纳就是居住窟，马特帕就是一个大厅。然后我不把这种石窟称为维哈罗皮克罗，我觉得这个皮克罗的这个问题可能更加的复杂，或者让人感觉到迷惑，所以说我一直坚持使用莱纳马塔帕的这种组合的这种称呼。
对，这是对的。其实这个窟也是这个名字也是在石窟题记中提到的，马达帕和莱纳都在石窟里，就是这种叫莱纳，那种叫马达帕。我们现在就把那个皮克罗实际上是一个组合，就是一个 monastery 一个寺庙的一个概念，而这个莱纳是真正的一个居住的一个类型，所以这个现在我在我的书里也都强调了这个，就是我们还要尊重它原始使用的这个词汇。像那个皮克罗实际上没有出现在石窟里头，是后来的范文，就是那个维哈拉这个词是后来的范文。
Yeah. You see, right now I'm showing you trifunctional architecture. So in Ajanta, why Ajanta became so famous? Because in the time of Ajanta, architecture and art became very advanced in 5th century AD. That time science, philosophy, literature, architecture, economy, everything was like your Tang dynasty. So what you have here in Tang dynasty, we had this Gupta Vakataka dynasty. That time it was the golden age of India.
就是说，就阿兰陀为什么有名？它就是有这个，就是他做的这个石窟已经达到非常成熟的这个地步，在某种程度上就像唐朝一样。
So, like this, it develops.
这就有一些阿兰陀的这些中心部分的这种石窟的一些组合形式吧，或者说叫不管是这种中心部或者说是中心的这种佛殿的这个形式。
Thank you.
Thank you so much. 你们有什么问题可以问一下，反正我们就这么几个人嘛，跟聊天似的。So if some student has a question,
我有2个问题。
你问。
In English. 行，我尝试。I have a question about the second pages in Lana. 可能也需要翻译。
In the slide.
Second pages in Lana.
对，可能得翻很久。
为什么？
那个拉杰什先生，他研究阿占陀呢，研究有30年了吧？他专注阿占陀，就他每个窟都非常熟悉。 其他的石窟呢，它是进行比较的，就是他最擅长的就是阿占陀石窟。所以你们有阿占陀石窟内容都可以问他，包括他对壁画的研究都非常好。
放了几个图片，
是平面示意图还是？
是平面示意图下边的就是雕上平贴。就它就是就像这个差不多，它只放两个那个像。
这个。
啊对对对对。
还是这个？
刚那个。
这个。
Which one is more early?
Between Juna and Buddha.
In my opinion, because it has pillar, so
Yeah.
so it's new.
Yeah.
The latest.
Yeah.
这个比这个
Before and later.
Yeah.
因为它那个有那个 pillar 的属于一个前廊。有前廊的一定是晚的。
好。
就这个前廊，它可以僧人就是在里头打坐累了，他可以在这看看光景啊，休息休息啊什么的那种。
其实我还有个问题是，我说不来英语那个。
让刘老师给你发。
One more question。
因为你刚刚不是说他研究那个阿赞陀是研究了30多年嘛？因为我看那个阿赞陀好的就是这种是法眼，因为是宇宙的，所以我想问一下，就是他除了认为这个释迦牟尼之外，有没有其他的一些？
只有释迦牟尼，我都可以回答你，印度只有释迦牟尼，没有别的。
好吧。
One more question is about the Buddha image. He found some Buddha image in Ajanta, and he had like this mudra, and he's like this the second picture. So how do you know this Shakyamuni or not another Buddha?
So you will be surprised to know up to 4th century AD it is only Shakyamuni Buddha in India. No other Buddha can be found in the main shrine.
所以在这之前只有释迦牟尼，没有别的。所以无论什么姿势都是释迦牟尼。
That is why China is very much different. In China there is no Shakyamuni.
Yes.
因为好像我在你们的书里面好像是说，可能因为他现在有那个凯座，有那个就是法轮和小轮，所以你们会认为释迦牟尼。但如果没有的话，你说你也不确定。
对，我也不确定，我是留了一个空间嘛，因为现在那个实际上印度学者他们很多就对图像的辨认，他是学中国人的，因为他们没有大乘佛教，他也不知道，因为在他们印象里佛陀只有释迦牟尼嘛。所以他们学了中国以后，他们才知道那个菩萨可能是观音，那个菩萨是什么什么什么的。但是像这个他们只有这个释迦牟尼，所以他们一直这样。包括你看那个凯里的石窟，它不有那七佛嘛？七佛全是这个坐姿。
所以我在想，就是他们那边是不是跟缅甸一样，他们就是这个什么代表成不分方式，它是一种。
缅甸是晚的，缅甸肯定，他们没有大乘，他们只有小乘佛教，所以他们的经典，你看马克给我们讲的，他所有用的经典都是上座部，就是说我们说小乘嘛，他们不了解大乘经典。所以那天我问他这个大势至菩萨，他说他头一次看这个词儿，他都不知道啥意思。
但是缅甸我之前看在蒲甘的那些壁画里面是受到那种帕拉影响的那种风格的美术啊。
那帕拉就很晚了，在印度这属于瓦吉拉人的。
对。我就看他那个有那种就是蒲甘有那种像那种布母像一样的那种美术。
他瓦吉拉人呢，就是金刚秤那个地方，他只在那个奥里萨南印度那块儿，孟加拉邦可能有一点，主要集中在奥里萨。然后就是南印度，他们这个那个叫什么？德干那边没有。
北方。
德干没有，德干没有。
I have no questions. Please.
老师，那我想问，就是麻烦您帮我翻译一下，就是他说的那个阿占陀壁画当中，它有没有关于佛教丧葬场景的一些图画描绘
？The girl have question about if have some the dead ritual. People dead make some ceremony in the Ajanta painting.
Yes. In K number 26 we find Parinirvana.
But that is not painting, that's sculpture in 26.
Yeah. So that is one sculpture, and it was painted supposed to be painted later on, and but in the Jataka narratives, we find Bodhisattva. In many, Bodhisattva dies. Like sometimes Bodhisattva is a rabbit, sometimes Bodhisattva is a deer. You know, in previous birth, Sakyamuni, and he gives up his life in previous birth, and people make stupa over it. So later on, people realize that people make a stupa over it. So that kind of depiction are there of Bodhisattva only, but not of any other person.
他说就是26号窟，因为26号窟它有一个那个就是那个佛那个涅槃像嘛，那是个雕塑，那个算是一个那个跟那个佛寺有关的。完另外他说早期那壁画里头，就是也不是早期，也都是5世纪左右的那个壁画里头，它有一些那个本身故事，比方说兔子、鹿啊，它们死了会建一个塔，就是类似这种。
And but in this context, I also want to say something to invite your attention also. Did you see the Buddha's feet?
Yes.
Buddha's feet. Yeah. There's a square cut.
For what?
Square cut 就是
Can you tell me what is that
我
for?
知道，我就说干什么用的，他说让我看。
Yeah, can you tell me any guess?
No.
那个脚上那个洞是干什么？
脚上切那一块儿干嘛？
是不是放其他人的骨灰
？For the release of the monk.
Not monk. Why? Because this cave, this is the largest sculpture in Indian cave temple. Yes or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, in all Indian caves, this is the largest sculpture, very tall, maybe double height than this. And the donor was the Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the time, Varahadeva. He was the Prime Minister of the Vakataka King Harisena, most powerful man. So, Emperor's Prime Minister donated this huge cave, and so it cannot be the relic. So now you have to tell me, if the Prime Minister is making this great temple, then whose relic can that be?
His mother, parents.
No.
So
I feel it is the answer will be very long. The truth is that we don't know. The truth is nobody knows. But it is my guess, understanding the archaeology and politics and religion of those times, I feel that it could be maybe Buddha's Sharira.
Where come from? Where get from?
I have no answer to that, but it could be Buddha's Sharira. Could be. I cannot say. It could be because in Vital Khora, in other caves, inside the stupa, we have found relic and Sharira.
So why put the release in the feet, not in here or some good place?
The reason is first it was going to be stupa. First it was the central block was carved for stupa. This is also, you can see a stupa is carved behind. First a stupa was carved, later on stupa was cut and image put here. Here also stupa idea changed, image put here. Here also this is a central block. You can see the corridor. Central block for stupa. Stupa idea changed, then Buddha image put here. Here also same thing happened. In all Ajanta, this is where my theory of Bodhisattva Yana. It was a stupa cult, and there was this mass migration from Gandhara, and from Gandhara people come and they bring the image cult, stupa cult. That time, before this time, this is 477 AD. Before 477 AD, before 477 before 467 AD, before 467 AD, in entire Buddhist cave architecture, they never made any Buddha image, only stupa image. So it was a stupa cult. Now from Kandahar people come, they bring image cult. Image cult immediately accepted, and idea changed, plan changed. So they make a stupa. So the casket, sarira, where they put in the image, they put it here. This is my guess. This is my proposition, but more research is necessary.
他就是说，像这个尤其第一张照片可以看出来，就是他说在467年的时候，印度是没有那个形象的嘛，就没有人格化，就不流行嘛，至少不能说没有，实际上有，就不流行人格化的佛陀。所以他的洞窟里头，它都是那个塔。然后你可以看到第一张那个照片，它不是一半个塔，它把前面这一半的，在那个这之后，他就受到箭头的影响也好，中国影响也好，还是开始造佛像，他把这切的造了个佛像，就前半部分那几个都是这样的，后面都是塔，然后前面切掉做个佛像，然后那他就是说在那个别的位置上可能放，这也是他推测，所以就可能放在那个地方比较好。当然他说也还有待研究，只是一个推测，他说可能是佛舍利。
Not only that, this is the earlier cave, 2nd century BC, cave number 9 and cave number 10.
Yes.
Right now.
10 is the earliest.
Yeah, cave number 10 and cave number 9. Now the lower part, below this is all cement, because the upper part of the stupa is rock, but the lower part is cement. The government has done cement reconstruction. So because it was in very bad shape, but it is my guess. I have no proof and evidence, but it is my guess that in cave number 9 and 10 also Sharir must have been there.
OK， 因为阿占陀石窟就9号和10号窟是两个早期的，10号是更早，9号略晚一些。这两个洞窟呢，他就是说他认为应该当时是有佛舍利的。那当然他说他也是推测。10号窟是最早的，就是它在整个阿占陀石窟中心那个位置非常好，这两个洞窟就现在编号90，然后10第一个，然后9是第二个，然后其他的就晚，像这个，你看这个9号窟它已经有这种门，10号窟是没有这种门的。Stop here.
Thank you so much.